hello. Is this the frequency news, please? Is this the frequency news? Is this the frequency news, please? CQ, hello, CQ, hello, CQ. V3 Baker Echo. V3 BGE calling CQ, hello, CQ. Hello, CQ, hello, CQ. V3 Baker George Echo. V3 BGE calling CQ, hello, CQ. V3 BGE calling CQ. Hello, CQ, hello, CQ. V3 Baker George Echo. V3 BGE calling CQ, hello, CQ. Hello, CQ, hello, CQ. V3 Baker George Echo. V3 BGE calling CQ, hello, CQ. V3 BGE calling CQ in line. Hello, CQ. V3 Baker George Echo. V3 BGE calling CQ. Hello, CQ. Hello, CQ. Hello, CQ. V3 Baker George Echo. V3 BGE calling CQ. Hello, CQ. V3 BGE calling CQ in line. CQ, hello, CQ, hello, CQ. V3 Baker George Echo. V3 BGE calling CQ, hello, CQ. Hello, CQ, hello, CQ. V3 Baker George Echo. V3 BGE calling CQ, hello, CQ. V3 BGE calling CQ line.
3 or more.
Familiar sounding voice. This is KD1 Mountain Whiskey.
Good evening.
Hey, good evening to you, Mark. It's Bruce, if you don't remember. I just sitting here. I'm waiting for the call to come in. I gotta drive my wife over to my daughter's house, pick up something in a little while, but I figured I'd shake the ether up a little bit for a minute.
Okay, you said that was Bruce, right?
Roger.
Yeah, okay. I'm still working on those names. We'll get them eventually. But, yeah, good evening. Well, yeah, it's going to be a rough night tonight. Not a night for the faint of heart. A lot of lightning activity. The van isn't leveled out enough yet here for me to flip over to the beverages yet, so I'm still on the transmit antenna for receive. Very noisy. But, welcome to summer.
Yeah, it doesn't feel that much like summer out here. It's pretty cool. And it was overcast all day long. And it's going to be like that for the next couple of days, I guess. But so your beverages are picking up a lot of noise?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of lightning activity down here. Today we hit 80 degrees and trying to see what it is now. Oh, yeah, it's 74 degrees right now. So we're still very warm and very humid.
Yeah, big difference between the two. We got a boundary between the two of us somehow that separating the warm and the cool air. I'm in Rhode Island. Not a tremendous distance away from you, but big difference in the weather.
Yep, you're on the north side of the jet stream, and I'm on the south side of it.
Well, as long as the jet stream doesn't come too close to the ground, I guess we'll be okay.
We're supposed to be getting thunderstorms, I think, probably on and off, anywhere from tonight into tomorrow and till that front comes down over me and moves through. So, yeah, it's going to be rocking and rolling.
Yeah, I was just reaching for my silly phone because there's a lightning map that I look at, and it's incredibly accurate.
Oh, which one's that?
I'm trying to find it here. It's I think it's called lightningmaps.org, and I don't know how they sense it, but they've got some sort of radar or something, or LiDAR or whatever it is. But the other night there was a strike. I was looking at the map because some thunderstorms were coming through. There was a front coming through, and I was looking at the map, and about, I don't know, maybe 8 miles away over the ocean here, it showed a circle that was formed, a little dot, and then it has a circle of the circle around it that progresses out, indicating the spread of the sound, I guess. But anyway, I saw the blip on the map, and then all of a sudden I heard the rumble of thunder. So it's surprisingly accurate.
Yeah, that's pretty fast. Very little latency on that.
It seems to be real time, because there was another time about a year ago, after I first heard about this map. I was up about 20 miles from here at a get-together, and it was storming, and I had to open up the map, and I could see, all the activity around us, and it would correspond to when you heard the rumble. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it does look like that line's going straight across Pennsylvania there.
November 1.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough night tonight. Lots of lightning. And the bugs are all out, and the trees are all blooming, and the blossoms are all out, and the grass is growing, and oh, God, here we go again. Oh, okay, there's the radar. Yeah, we got storms down around Delaware and Maryland and down out towards Ohio, West Virginia, heading towards Pittsburgh. So, yeah, the noise is all close by.
November 1, November Papa, Quebec.
Okay, Bill, I can hear you.
Am I down in the noise?
You're a little weak, but I'm reading you. You're on your remote setup. You sound a little honky tonight.
No, I'm on 718. Just been playing around with it. I'm getting it ready to hand off to a new owner.
Oh, okay, yeah, it definitely doesn't sound like your normal setup.
It should work okay for him. I'm on a crappy antenna and on a power supply that's not big enough to power this.
Yeah, okay, I got to bail out, guys. I just got the call. We're going to take a little road trip and I'll be back later, maybe check in as long as the lightning doesn't keep us away. It's K Delta 1 Mountain Whiskey.
All right, Bruce, we'll be here. We'll be listening, if not making transmission. So the band's still very early yet. We have the sun still in the sky, so got a little bit to go yet before things level out. In 3 or more. normal.
Toad Harbor, CQ Toad Harbor, N1SAG, November 1, Sierra Alpha Golf, listening. CQ Toad Harbor, CQ, N1SAG, November 1, Sierra Alpha Golf, listening. K1LHZ, N1SAG.
Hey, good evening. We're just hanging out with CA1LOO and staying warm and dry. It's pretty cold and nasty up here.
Yeah, we got rain. I don't know, it's about 55, 60 degrees maybe. But, yeah, we had sun today for a little while anyway, a couple hours, and sky turned blue, and then it got cloudy and started to rain again. But, yeah, well, that's what we got here, I guess, for the next few days, too. Until Monday, we're supposed to be in and out of rain.
Yeah, 55, 60, it's darn near skinny dipping weather. We got, let's see, 40.6 right now, and it's overcast, foggy, and drizzly. So, yeah, it's, I don't know, spring hasn't sprung yet, so we're still waiting here.
Here I am thinking with climate change and when WCW.
Yeah, I can't wait till we get some global warming up here.
Yeah, it's a real raw day. Anyways, good evening, Steve. Good evening, Dave.
Okay, Dennis, good evening.
They're putting climate change on hold till they get Medicare for all.
Yeah, it's going to be free, too, right?
I love it, Russ.
KC1RS. What's going on, Dave? Hey, Steve.
Hello, Russ, N1SAG.
KC1HTP.
N1HPT, is it? Papa Tango?
No, Kilo Charlie 1, Hotel Golf Papa. Sorry, only running 100 watts. Best I can do tonight.
Okay, give me a call again. I'm trying to figure it out here. Kilo Charlie 1?
Hotel Golf Papa.
Kilo Charlie 1, Hotel Golf Papa, David.
I got it, Roger. Thank you. Thanks for the assistance there and relay there. Yeah, he's a little light. Where are you there, KC1 HGP N1SAG Dave on this end?
Yeah, I'm here in Rochester, New Hampshire. Talked to the group a few times there. Was running a little heat before, but packed it away for the summer. Got company coming in, and I'm no longer available to be on the radio every night, so giving up the room.
Okay, well, your signal just came up a bit, so it sounds pretty good. Over.
Oh, copy that.
I imagine we're going to get some up and down conditions here for a while. But anyway, sounds good. What was the name up there in New Hampshire?
Yeah, you got Bruce also. Kind of like the one down there in Connecticut.
Yeah, say again, you got took out by a lightning crash. Sorry, repeat. Repeat your name, please. Dennis, did you copy his name?
Yeah, he says his name is Bruce.
Oh, all right, thank you.
They got a ham fest going on up in New Hampshire this weekend.
Where's that one?
Yeah, it's Nearfest in Deerfield, New Hampshire. KA1LH.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, I've been out and through that area down at the Deerfield Fair grounds. They used to have one right here at the Rochester Fairgrounds there. I visited, back when I was doing CBN in late 80s, early 90s. They used to have one right here at the Rochester Fairgrounds in New Hampshire here. But, yeah, that's been long done now.
Yeah, it's actually the same ham fest. They just had to move it around. I've heard people refer to it as Deerchester because it's in Deerfield now, but it was in Rochester.
Oh, okay. All right. I do have a question I'd like to pose to the group. I'm hoping somebody might be able to relay if I'm really that weak, and my question is of importance. So my wife is now retiring from a company that, actually she's going out on disability, from a company that is 65,000 people. Their insurance is extremely good. We're with Cigna currently. And right now I'm paying $500 out of pocket, which I'm paying 50%. I'm going to have to go on Cobra as of this month, which is $1085, and it's basic 80/20 coverage with $3,000 out of pocket per person, and it is just her and I, so it's like $1085 a month for the Cobra package. And my current company that I'm working for, the best they can do is $1,085 out of pocket for me, and of course they're paying, a bunch of money. It's almost $2,900 a month. And how is this not price gouging?
Insurance companies, especially health insurance, in my view anyway, it's like gambling at the casino. The house always wins.
I was going to say, you probably have better odds dealing with the mob.
I know, that's what I mean. It's like, all right, here we are outraged at, President Trump and whatever he's doing. We're outraged at all this shit. How about the price gouging the insurance companies are doing? And why aren't there laws against it?
Because the politicians are getting paid off by the healthcare companies, that's why.
Somebody was 2 kc down.
I'm hearing voices in my radio.
Marco Polo.
Marco!
Polo.
Marco!
Polo.
Marco!
Stop it.
All we need now is a swimming pool.
What's going on down there, Caparatius?
Oh, just sitting here with 25 and 30 over static crashes, waiting for the band to get leveled out enough I can go over to one of my beverages.
Oh, all right. Okay. Yeah, I know. It's pretty brutal up here, too. A lot of crashes. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough night. We're not in the middle of anything right here, but it's all within the listening area tonight. And I heard the propagation beacon, so that means that the conditions are probably going to be pretty good tonight. So we'll hear all the lightning and all of its gory three-dimensional detail.
Hey, your signal came up as you were speaking just now, so yeah, conditions, N1SAG.
Yep, we still have daylight here. The sun just went down, I believe, just about 2 minutes ago. So, yeah, the band will level out here shortly as it continues to get a little darker. So, yep, we're here.
So where's all that lightning coming from, Mark?
Well, we've got some just south of Ohio coming into the Pennsylvania line underneath the Pittsburgh area. And we have a glob of it down around Delaware, Maryland, right there on the corner. It's all heading the same direction from the southwest to the northeast, traveling along the jet stream. The one out towards Pittsburgh is a big, big glob of yellows and reds and oranges. And I'm sure there's a bunch more of it off the map that I have right now because looks like there's quite a bit more of it further west. So depending on how propagation is, we'll probably be hearing all of it.
Yeah, well, thanks for that report. It was very nice. The report, the weather doesn't sound nice.
Yeah, it wasn't very optimistic there. You're a very optimistic person there, Mark.
Yeah, it's a good act because I'm really actually a miserable person, but not nearly as miserable as Ray. Ray's got me on that. I need to work up to it because, Ray's a tough act to follow, but someday I might just be as miserable as him, but I'm not there yet. However, yeah, we got thunderstorms that are going to move through tomorrow for me and into Friday evening, Saturday early morning. So we got a bunch of bad weather heading my way, which ultimately heads all you guys' way.
Yeah. Thanks for the encouragement.
Hey, it's spring. What do you want?
Dave, is supposed to be above average temperatures for the summer, and the rain's supposed to give us a break this year. It's supposed to be a lot drier.
Well, we can always hope. Somebody wanted a break. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is WA2JTS, just copying the mail to you guys, and we've been having a little bit of difficulty with some audio issues, and wondered if you guys could give me a report. Here's Bob Baker, Ocean Baker. KTH is east of Delafield, Pennsylvania, about 40 miles west of Philadelphia. And we're using a Fox Tango 2000 into an open wire inverted B. So, Mark, you had the loudest signal. You were pegging 60 over at times. So I'm hoping that you can hear me as well as I'm hearing you, and let me know how things sound. This is WA2JTS.
All right, Bob, very good. Well, if you had a decent meter, you'd be able to go to 80 over, and you'd be able to see the rest of my signal. What do you think of that? Bob, you have no audio energy below 350 hertz, I could say. I don't have one of those fancy-dancy waterfall meter things to actually be super critical, but from my trained ear, being involved in the interest for about 25 years now, you have nothing below about 300, 350 hertz. So you have no low-end presence, but you're very clear on your mid-range and high.
Okay, well, that's a matter of, I guess, getting my equalizer set better. But does the audio sound clear? Do you hear any thing that would suggest that there's RFI getting into the audio?
I went over to my one beverage, pointing your way, and to reduce the lightning static so I could be more critical. I do not hear anything like that. There's no products into it, no RF getting in with it, no images or anything of that nature. You're clear audio. You just need some lower frequency and therefore a little more presence.
Yeah, okay, real fine. By the way, what is your call?
Oh, I'm sorry. You needed one of them? Oh, yes, I have a call. You got you got a little freaky there for a second, didn't you? Norway 3 Radio, Mexico Radio, N3RMR.
Okay, so I'm coming in so strong, so where are you located?
I am located exactly 1/3 of an air mile directly north of the western end of the Harrisburg International Airport runway.
No wonder you're taking my deal. Okay, very good. All right, well, that gives me some very good information, and I greatly appreciate you guys letting me break in. I don't want to break up your QSO, and I'll go and see if I can straighten these matters out a little bit further. Again, I greatly appreciate the break-in. It's Radio RMR, WA2JTS.
Okay, Bob, come on back anytime. We'll be in here probably for the rest of most of the evening. There's quite a group in here. This is the Toad Harbor frequency. So the Commander-in-Chief's not here. A lot of people aren't here yet. It's still very early, and we've got lots of atmospherics tonight, so it's going to be a challenge. But come on back for another test if you need to. You other fellas, you want to give an audio report before Bob takes off to see if I got that right?
He's got a lot of highs. But it's clear. Nice and clear.
Okay, real good. Nice and clear is the goal. The rest can be taken care of by now. But nice and clear is my goal.
Okay, Roger. Yeah, no, it sounds good. N1SAG.
Hey, Dennis, you still in there?
Dennis.
I'm trying to figure what happened to our glorious leader, number 2.
I have no idea. Yeah, I'm still here. I was on the other side of the shack.
Dev's in there, too.
Evening, Devin. Good.
Do I have to go out and do a search party on him, Russ? Is that what you're saying?
Well, just swing by his house and throw rocks at it till he gets up.
Yeah, I don't like throwing rocks at a glass house. November 1 Whiskey Charlie Whiskey. If someone else is in there, Devin, I think I heard. I'm not sure.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Hello, Dennis, Dave, Ross, and I heard Mark, I guess. Kilo 1, Delta Sierra Kilo. How's everyone?
And WA2ES.
Okay, the band's starting to level out a little bit. Yeah, we're good here, Devin. We're doing fine. We're just, it's becoming more and more of a challenge this evening through the atmospherics.
Yeah, I guess the cycle is just going down and down. A lot of static crashes here, and propagation is, signals are okay, I guess, about 20 plus here. Go ahead.
Okay, Devin, you sound good. You're 20, 30 over here, N1SAG.
Dave, you're about 25 to 30 over. Good audio, solid audio here. How you been? Have you tried that amplifier on air?
Yeah, it works great. You know, he had just one headlight out, so he's got some lights. He's coming over tomorrow. We'll see if we can get the lights to light up and put the cover on it, and I'm going to plug it back in here and use it for him. He's not ready to install it in his shack, but yeah, we tried it out, had it on the air with Randy. I think it was the same night we brought it home. You know, I wired it up quick and got on the air with it, so he's very pleased with it.
Oh, good to hear that. Yeah, I've been traveling a little bit, doing some work, not much on the radio, not a 160 meter, but I'll be back in the evenings now. Ross, did you get your knife switch? K1DSK.
No, I bought some, but they're almost like toys. I gotta hunt around. I think I'm gonna have to end up buying something vintage or something.
Oh, I see. I bought one more of that. Now I have two of them. I'm doing some experiments between two knife switches, changing the length of the letter line, and try to see, depending on the letter line length, how I can optimize different bands. Issue was with the RF coming back in the shack on some bands, not all the bands. But I think I'm figuring it out. Depending on the length, you can just completely shut off the RF, but it activates the other bands. So probably I'll have to use 2 or 3 different lengths based on knife switches, switch on and off, and that should be good for all the bands. So they are good knife switches. I use full legal power on those. Back to you.
What model are they?
Let's see. Hold on. I'll have to tell you that. I don't. Not handy. Hold on. Next round, I'll have that for you.
All right. Thanks. KC1RS.
Did Randy get in here yet?
Haven't heard him.
Holy cow. Then they could steer them. Hello, everybody. This is the world-famous N1 DBL. Well, thank you so very much for showing up.
It cheered us all up, Ray, N1SAG.
Well, I was waiting last night for Randy to call to get me on, but he never called, so I figured he was either dead or he never got on radio. What are we, chopped liver? I guess last night you were.
Yeah, you had us worried. I was looking at hospital admissions, emergency room activities, and we checked probably half the jails in Western Mass looking for you.
And homicide reports.
Not to mention UFOs.
Yeah, well, last night I did. I went for a little ride with some of my small friends. The rings of Saturn up close are really spectacular. We'll just call it a saucer, whatever shape it is. And you're moving it near the speed of light, and you make a transmission on this frequency. How much Doppler shift would you have to put in to be able to receive it? You'd have to be tuned to 0 megahertz. So how would you overcome that problem of communications when you're moving near the speed of light? You have to use subspace radio.
Oh, well, why didn't I think of that? Just for those of us that are total retards, what is subspace radio?
That's what Star Trek uses.
Oh, of course, there's the answer.
Well, the starship can travel 1,000 times the speed of light, so I imagine subspace radio is far faster.
Yeah, obviously. But what is it?
It's beyond my knowledge.
Oh, while you're here, not to puff my own chest up, but since I get so rare to do it, I got a 60/9 signal report tonight there, Ray.
Was your radio connected to the other radio with a piece of coax cable?
No. This was someone out in the distance receiving me with their own equipment.
Yeah, they obviously have a very generous S-meter. Did you change something on your audio? You sound better tonight than you normally do.
No, I didn't change anything, Ray.
Okay.
That guy was only about 20 miles from me, Ray. Don't listen to him.
Oh, stop it. He was farther than that.
Hey, by the way, for everybody, because I'm getting as far away from any kind of flour or GMO product that I can get. Tonight I had my first Barilla corn and rice pasta, and it was pretty much about the same as the other stuff.
And?
Well, I don't know. I don't feel, I think I feel better than if I ate pasta. This is very interesting. Mark, I don't think I told you this. No, I didn't tell you because I didn't talk in the radio last night. I was listening to a guy. Did I tell you about? I was listening on 11 meters, and this guy was talking about how he was in the hospital and he had all kinds of problems, and he was not taking blood pressure medicine. Did I tell you the story?
You may have, but you go ahead and tell it again because I don't remember all the details.
I don't think I told you this because I think this happened like yesterday or something, and I wasn't on. Or the day before, and I wasn't on. So anyway, I know the guy a little bit, so I went back to him and I said, look, well, let me ask you a question. What are you talking about? He goes, well, I have celiac disease or celiac or something like that. And he said, I'm highly allergic to flour and, wheat. So I said, well, let me ask you a couple questions. So he said, sure. So I said, well, was your heart skipping beats? And he said, oh my God, yes. He said it was awful. He said, my heart was skipping beats. I said, well, was your blood pressure elevated? He said, it was so high the doctor put me on blood pressure medicine. So I said, well, obviously you got off. Yeah. And he explained the whole thing I went through. He goes, yeah, it's really hard because you go to the store and everything has wheat in it and you really have to be careful, because I go to the store now and I just browse the store looking for non-GMO and, products that you can eat. So anyway, so he said, yeah, and he said, I got off of all that crap, and he said, now the problem is my heart doesn't skip beats, my blood pressure's so very low now, and I have to get off the blood pressure medicine because my blood pressure's way too low. So I said, yeah. I said, you know what? I said, I don't know if I have that same problem you have. I said, but whatever it was doing, the wheat was doing exactly the same thing to me. So I guess I might have a tinge of what he had or something like that, because he explained literally exactly the same thing that I had, exactly. The celiacs, I think that's the right pronunciation, is when you eat wheat, you spend a lot of time in the bathroom. I guess it manifests itself that way too. But I don't think I was as bad as he was, but I'm telling you, that wheat was killing me for whatever reason, whether it's because it's modified genetically or because I'm allergic to wheat or because I'm allergic to GMO, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, it was an interesting story. Totally out of the clear blue sky. I couldn't make it up. It was freaky because I heard this guy talking about it. I wasn't even talking. I was just tuning around, and I happened to hear him say all that stuff. So that was very, very interesting. N1DBL.
Yep. You can't keep ingesting poison every day and expect your body to be okay with it. So celiac disease is a condition. It's not really a disease. It's a condition to where you've left yourself get so far out of whack because of ingesting that stuff all the time that you've actually started to chemically alter and change your intestinal flora and fauna to the point of where it starts, you're one step away from complete breakdown at that point. So, yeah, he needs to get off all that wheat. In fact, everybody should get off this chemically altered wheat. They need to completely change that whole industry and just get rid of all of that genetically mutated garbage. And it was all promulgated and pushed by Penn State Farming and ConAgra, Monsanto, and the makers of Roundup Ready formula, which was also a Penn State trademark scientific development. So you can thank Pennsylvania State University for all of the problems with having to do with our food crops containing with wheat and corn. If you really want to know where the ultimate responsibility goes, it goes back to a handful of scientists at Penn State.
Ray?
Yeah, go ahead.
The celiac disease is caused by gluten, which is in many grains. Wheat has a lot of it. It is sensitivity to gluten. Also, what you may want to do is go to a naturopath and ask them to take your blood samples, and they will test for all kinds of foods and environment to which you are sensitive. Anything, any food your body is sensitive to, that will cause inflammation and results in lots of problems, a lot of issues, symptoms, and diseases. And what you're doing is you're setting example for a lot of people. It's wonderful to see you follow that diet, because good nutrition and to avoid things that you are sensitive to is key to health. My 2 cents worth. Back to you.
Yeah, well, I learned my lesson about the wheat. You know, and any of the wheat, or I get everything GMO. I try. You know, it's not possible to get everything, but like I get these crackers now. I don't eat any bread or anything, but I do these crackers, and they're the Nature's Promise stuff, and they're non-GMO. So that's the only wheat I eat. They're a mixture of their wheat and there are several grains, but they're non-GMO anyway. So that's the only thing I eat that's anything to do with wheat now. Everything else, like flour and stuff, I just totally gave it up because I was a mess. I mean, my blood pressure was skyrocketing way up, and my heart was skipping beats like crazy, and really a mess. But we got it under control now. Anyway, N1DBL. Where's Randy? Randy, where are you? You in here yet?
He was also not here last night.
I know, yeah. I talked to him today because he didn't call me, because he always calls me when he gets on the air, and he didn't call me last night, so that's what I figured. I figured he probably didn't get on the air last night. He didn't get home. I think he said he didn't get home until late 8:30, and he was really tired. Now, tonight he got home early because I talked to him, and he was just going to have dinner, but, he puts in 12 and 30, it was like 13 hours today, so he probably lays down on the couch and he's out cold.
Oh, yeah, get a little power nap. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, Ray?
Yeah.
60/9.
Yeah, I know you're too cheap to pay the guy to give you that reading, so he probably had his 2 preamps on.
I don't care what he had on. I'm just gonna just kind of sit in that lava of goodness for just a little while. It won't last long, trust me, but while I'm there.
And just think, you owe it all to me.
No, Ray. No, I don't.
You only would have been 50/9 if you had your old antenna. No, I would have been 57 over 9.
You're crazy.
You said 3 dB.
And before you change the antenna, I already read that article, and I told you I think it's going to be more like 6 dB, and it was 10 dB. Just imagine, 10 dB. What a pathetic antenna.
It's higher than that because up in Maine, I went from 9 to 20 over.
Well, I figured you picked up about 10, and that's an amazing difference just by changing the wire on the antenna system. I'm so careful now that, like on my tuner, I have these wing nuts, you know, and I know they're brass, and the screws that go in the tuner are brass, but the one of the washers was steel, so I only had one brass washer. So today I actually went out down to the garage and dug through all my junk, and I found another one, and I put brass washers on the thing. Actually, it's actually got steel nuts on the thing. I have to take the cover off. Next time I take the cover off, I'm going to change them and put take those two steel nuts that are on there off. It's got brass screws, but it's got steel nuts holding it on together. So I'm going to even take those steel nuts off.
Well, I think you might be making a little bit excessive there, but hey, whatever. If you got them, it certainly isn't going to hurt.
I told you, there should never be any steel in an RF circuit, ever, under any conditions.
Yeah, she's done pretty good now. And the wire doesn't show any signs of further stretching or any failure, so I figure it'll be up there for a little while. We won't have to replace it for a while.
Did you ever figure out if you can put that radio you got on a computer and get that 17-band equalizer?
No, Ray, I'm not going to go through all of that just for you. One of these days here nearby soon, I'll be getting a real radio with a real microphone, and the problem will get solved. Just relax.
Okay, you don't sound bad tonight, though. I mean, you don't sound bad at all. But if you're going to hang on to that thing, you might as well do it right. But yeah, if you're going to buy a 7300, then that'd be a lot easier.
You get too excited too fast. You need to have a little bit of the P word.
I'm liable to take a cup of flour and commit suicide.
It is getting that bad, isn't it?
I'll tell you, for me it was. It was just awful. I thought I was dying. I really did. My heart was skipping beats every 4 or 5 beats. It would skip. And it was definitely caused by that. So whether it's the GMO or whether it's the wheat or whatever it is, I don't know. But it's definitely one or the other.
Well, they basically turned to wheat, and Devin had a very good point, too, with the gluten. A lot of people are very sensitive to the gluten in wheat. Even good wheat, some people are... wheat is a very hard grain to digest. There are much easier grains to digest that are available, but wheat just happened to be the staple crop because of its... there's a whole history behind that, and as you read the book on Wheat Belly, it'll explain all that to you. So I'm not going to get into that on the air. But... wheat is a very tough grain to digest to begin with, so even in its unaltered state, it's got a lot of stuff in it that your body has to kind of deal with in certain ways. But then when you genetically mutate it and change it, genetically and chemically, your body doesn't know what it is, and then you take it so far as that you can saturate it with poison on it so you can grow it in just about zero weed environment on rock. It's become to the point where it's so far from what it should be that it's just basically become a very mild poison.
That's because the only vegetarian that ought to be in our diet should be vegetarians, i.e. animals. We're meat eaters. We just messing around with plants and stuff is just bad for you.
No, we're actually not meat eaters. I don't know where you got that, but we're not meat eaters.
Well, I If you can get a decent apple, I think an apple's good for you. I eat those oranges. What are those oranges that the skin peels off? We went through this the other day. I can never remember the name of them, but they're the ones. They're like a small orange, but once you break the skin, it just peels off real nice and easy, and they're nice and juicy. I eat those. I eat apples, and I eat pears. I think they're all pretty good for you.
I like the beef eaters. They're tiny. A little twist of lime.
Clementine.
Somebody's way down there in the noise. Go ahead.
That's probably me, Ray. I just said tangerines anyway. W-A-H-O-E-S.
Yeah, no, they're not tangerines. They're called halos, but that's not what they really are. What are they, somebody?
Clementine?
I don't think they're clementines either. They could be a clementine. There's something right like the clementine.
Mandarins?
Mandarin. I don't know. I have them down there, but I don't have the bag. I buy them all the time. They're really good. One of them, the clementine, I think is the one that's hard as hell to peel. These, the skin is like loose on them. It's not really. Once you break the skin, you can just peel it right off real easy, and they're really, really juicy.
Do they have a nose on them?
Joanne, I think so.
They're a hybrid combination between two species.
Well, they're really good. I eat those. I like. You know what else I like too? I like a banana. A banana's really good for you too.
Oh yeah.
But on that diet I was on, you're not supposed to eat corn.
Yeah, corn's another pretty tough grain to digest. It's got a lot of nutrient value, but it's not what the corn used to be either. Back when the Indians did what they did, that was real, good food crop. But they've taken corn and they've crossbred it and did all kind of genetic mutation to it to get it to grow and rock and did all kind of stuff. And then they GMO'd it as well so that they could spray Roundup on it, and they've ruined the corn as well. So most of the corn products are just as bad for you as the wheat stuff.
Right. Well, what I was making my pancakes out of when I made those pancakes for that week or two that got me all screwed up was I was using, cornmeal mush or cornmeal or, whatever they call it, cornmeal. I was using half cornmeal and half flour to make the pancakes, and then I was making cornbread, which is the same thing. It's half flour and half corn, so between the two of them, I don't know which one was screwing me up, but I'm assuming they both were screwing me up, but that was a really bad combo.
Yeah, that's a double whammy.
Ray, you were either eating Miniolas or honey tangerines if they got a little nose on them and they're real sweet.
No, you know what I think they're called? They're called mandarins. That's what I'm pretty sure. They're mandarin. Anyway, they're delicious.
Yeah, they're in the family with the tangerines and the tangelos and stuff. They're right in there, but they don't have a nose on them. But they're a little bit bigger than a clementine. But yeah, they're pretty sweet. I've had those before down in Florida.
Well, I went to Home Depot the other day to get some goop, and they don't sell it anymore, and I got into a real hassle with them. Nobody was helping me and everything, so I went up the road to the other place, and they had it. So I have a nice new tube of amazing goop. If you've never tried goop, you have to get it. It's the best adhesive I have ever seen in my life.
Hey, Ray, I got a price on some silver-based conductive grease. You ready?
Yeah, you told me the other day. It's so crazy expensive.
Yeah, I gave them a part number, and they ran it, and they said, well, the only size available that we can get you right away is a 10-ounce tube. And I said, I saw online where you guys have like 1.5 ounce and 4 ounce, and the lady came back. That's not available right now. All they have in stock right now is 10-ounce tubes. And I'm like, well, how much is that? $1,338.
Yeah, well, that's kind of just insane. All I can say is, with my tuner, I use that grease that Randy was touting there, which is it's white lube, but it's not lithium. And I used that mixed up, and that was like tar because the crank handle was really hard to turn. Now I'm using this lithium base, the stuff I got at Home Depot, the lithium base grease with the pencil lead in it there, and the carbon or whatever it is. And this tuner, the handle cranks by itself. I mean, it's so much easier to turn the handle. So that's the right stuff to use. That's what I would use for now.
Well, I'm eyeballing. I found a source. I gotta call them and get a price. I found a source for powdered silver, 5-micron powder, which is pretty small. And if that stuff's pretty reasonable, you want me to hook you up with some? I imagine that works even better than graphite.
Yeah, it probably does, but it's just not worth it. I mean, if they were charging you like $20 an ounce for it, I mean, silver's $15 an ounce. So if they were charging you $20 an ounce for the powdered stuff, then yeah, I'd say it's okay. But anything like that, you're going to be paying $70, $80, $100 an ounce for it. It's just not worth it.
Depends on how it's processed.
Yeah, it's some scientific company. They got different sized up. They have different sizes. You can get it down to 5 microns, which is really, really fine powder. So I gotta contact them and get a quote.
Well, that would be the stuff to mix the lithium-based grease with. I'm sure that would work out. That would work out probably even better than. Well, you know what? What's the conductivity of graphite? Look it up. You got a computer. Look up the difference between graphite and silver. I know graphite's a pretty good conductor.
Okay, I'm going topside. Y'all have a good night. N1 WCW.
Didn't even know you were in here. Okay, I will see you later.
Charlie 2 Delta Mike. Charlie, I think silver's got graphite, Pete. Graphite's a resistor, like what they put in resistors back in the past. I think silver's got to be probably by more than half or 3/4.
Let me find a pencil here, and I'll measure I'll measure across the graphite.
Wow, it's way down on the list, Ray. Way, way down on the list.
Yeah, how far down?
Graphite makes things slip real good, but not electricity.
Yes, silver's number 1, and graphite of the common materials is in 25th place. It's not even as conductive as stainless steel.
Hey, good evening down here. AC2DFT in the Catskill. David, Delta. Good evening. Good signal. Over.
Well, 4 inches of graphite in a pencil lead is 41 ohms. So your silver powder is still the way to go.
Heck, you'd be better off with zinc powder. I think that's what they use on walk stuff. And zinc's way more conductive than that graphite. Only problem with it is it's you got to get it in fine, and it's got to be fine enough because sometimes it can be real crunchy.
Yeah, because I had some, I bought some graphite from Napa, and it was in flakes. It was flakes. It wasn't powder, and you just couldn't use it. I tried to mix it up. It wouldn't even mix. It was terrible, useless, totally useless. So that was no good. But yeah, if you can get silver, well, do they make copper? I mean, hell, copper'd be the next best thing probably. But the trouble with copper is it might oxidize or something and really fine. Well, if it mixes with grease, I don't know. But can you get copper powder or what? So there's silver, copper, aluminum. Any of those would probably be good if you can get it in 5 micron size.
Well, you can buy. I mean, if you don't need lithium, you can buy. I have a thing of copper grease here. It's used. I use it to water. I put it on the back of my lightning arresters. I got a big entranceway coming into the house, which is a giant copper plate, and I use copper on the back of the polyphasers that come in, and that stuff works pretty good, but it does dry up. I don't know if it would make a very good lubricant.
Yeah. Well, let me put it this way. I have personally taken my Fluke ohm meter, which is a pretty good machine, and stuck it into anti-seize, nickel and copper anti-seize, and there's a lot of metal in that, and it shows no conductivity at all, absolutely none.
I had a good use for graphite that I used to be involved with for a N1DVL from WTUAQ.
Yeah, well, I never tried mixing. I have some. I got some mixed up grease right in front of me. Let me see if my ohm meter will read that.
When I worked on Minuteman missiles, we used the graphite grease to seal the personal access hatches so that they would be conductive and block EMP.
Well, they have this stuff called inlay powder. It's copper powder for metal inlay. 2 ounces of that is about $13, but it doesn't look like it's very. It doesn't look like it's powderized very, very small, so it might not be the way to go.
What application you're using it in?
Mixing it with lithium grease to form a conductive grease for variable inductors.
Yeah, variable inductors that have a spinner or something. It's a mechanical situation in here. Anyway, lithium. You don't want to mix anything with lithium or itself, but besides the grease that comes with it. The least the better, because you're going to use lithium, and then you're looking for a conductor with that.
Well, these guys, I'm not the one doing it. These guys are mixing graphite powder with it, and I guess it's working for them. So, but we were thinking that maybe if you could get a fine enough silver powder or copper powder, that might be another way to go, because they're like way more conductive than graphite would be. It's just that you have to get them so fine. Otherwise, those metals could be kind of abrasive, and you'd have to worry about the wear factor.
Yeah, how about that grease, molybdenum grease, or something, or metal grease. You need contact, something spinning in a shaft, and you need contact to see what's going on in the inside. That's probably what you're at. The least the better. One metal and lubricant with the metal. But but also the fact that molybdenum doesn't break down and you can get the grease real fine. Just, the tolerances have to be real good if you're using a shaft drive or something like that. Yeah, but conductivity, when it starts to heat up, aluminum is probably the best, because when aluminum is moving, you get a really good contact. But everybody begs to differ. KC2, DFC, got skills. When it comes to antennas and you're going to put a hose clamp or a clamp on an antenna and you're using something like that, that's another dub. Because you got to think about the oxides and how much power you're putting out to make your antenna red. But it depends on the application. That's why I said when I came in here earlier, what's the application? This is KC2 DFC.
Well, the application is a PAL-STAR tuner, and it's got a roller inductor. The roller inductors have the wheel on the outside of the inductor, and there's a metal shaft that the wheel rolls back and forth on. Well, that metal shaft has to be lubricated, according to the manufacturer, with white lithium grease. 1 part of white lithium grease to 4 parts of powdered graphite, and that's what I couldn't get lithium grease last time. I use a very similar product that looks just like lithium grease, but it's not, and that did not work out anywhere near as good as the lithium grease. So, I'm assuming the manufacturer knows what's best, but then again, I would think that if you can get 5 micron silver and you mix that with the white lithium grease, it would be even better. But then again, the manufacturer is not going to be spending $1,300 a tube.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And in fact, I've gone through what you did. I found out, with the nichrome wire, roller inductor, and, I've been there, done this. And, you got to go up and down, watch where it sparks, in a kilowatt amp with your power. Yeah, go up and down, watch where it sparks the different areas. You've been here, done this. And probably wicked light lithium grease, make sure your cogs are touching. I'm not sure why they put metal in that. Lithium grease is good enough, really super refined lithium grease on the cogs, and nothing on the coil, and with the brass or whatever it is. That's touching the coil, nothing on that, because anytime you put any of that kind of chemical and you have like hot conditions, moist, or you have super dry conditions, and it's radical, maybe a wood stove cooking, you smoke cigarettes. Anyway, all those factors got to keep in mind for the fact that it's got a roller inductor. And then also outside influences, for static buildup. I hope you watch yourself with lightning. Over.
Hey Ray, I found some really fine stuff here on silver.
Finer than 5 microns?
Yep, it's 0.5 to 1.2 microns, measured by a laser scattering crystalline morphology method, and it's 99.95% silver. And they want $82 for 25 grams, which is just, a little under an ounce. So, I don't know how much you need to make the grease, but I'm going to keep poking around, but that's not too bad, I guess.
Well, I don't know how much an ounce is. I guess an ounce of that would probably do this tuner, I'm guessing. This is just a total. I'd probably do it 10 or 20 times, but still too much money. I'll just get my own. I'll buy one of those nice silver coins for $15.50, 9.999% silver, and I'll get a real fine file.
You can still use it with the graphite. Just do a mix of graphite and silver.
Yeah, but that's the whole problem is getting it fine enough. You know, you really need it very, very fine to do this right. I guess the lithium grease and the graphite's good enough because it really the load, you know, cranking the thing is just much lighter. It's got less than half the drag that it used to have, so that must work fine.
It's still working here. WG2E.
Yeah, well, that tuner's supposed to be cleaned every 6 months, and it was about 6 months since I cleaned it last time, and I'm telling you, it was really dirty. Those the coils in there were coming out black, so it really does need to be cleaned every 6 months. And remember, I told you it was noisy when I would turn the handle, you'd hear a receiver going like that, and as soon as I cleaned it, that went away. So therefore, I'd have to say the old grease I used, which wasn't lithium, and the carbon doesn't work.
Did you ever try going dry?
Oh, no way you can do it dry. No way. You wouldn't be able to turn the crank handle.
I mean, like what they call graphite for sliptivity, and still some, but it might arc if you get the wrong reading. With light lithium grease going dry, the tolerances on the coil as you're spinning have to be right there. That's the problem with doing that. And, you know, if you have it where it spins with maximum touch all the time, you know, you're inside of a cog, you know, which I thought was brass when I had mine. You're twisting that up or down. You know, you got to make the markings, start the markings and where you're at. But, you know, if you have problems with your antenna or coax going out, that'll also cause dead spots in your coil. But, you know, dead spots in your coil is a problem. Let me think. Very, very light coatings of lithium grease and graphite. Probably, and just, you know, with your cover off, watch what you're doing. Yeah, make sure and watch your meters. You know, it's critical, and see where you're at. You know, once I had my roller inductor working, wow, it was wicked killer good. Over.
Yeah, well, we know what we're doing, and you know, these Palstar units have very high quality roller inductors. They're not, most of the units that I've seen with roller inductors are just cheap. They're just, the roller inductor sucks. Carl, on your roller inductor, is the wheel on the inside or the outside?
It's on the outside. And I took a white rag with deoxit there and rolled it back and forth across the roller there for a bunch of times. You wouldn't believe all the black stuff that came off.
Yeah, you're talking about on the coil itself?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did mine. I mean, the first time I did mine, it literally, the white rag came out black. Yeah, it's amazing how much crud you get off it. That's not crud, that's silver oxide, but you do get an awful lot off it. Yeah, and like I said, you know, he said you should clean them every 6 months, and judging from what I see, it should be cleaned every 6 months.
Well, it's working well now, and I'm happy with the scratchiness is gone in the receiver when I was moving it back and forth, so it solved that problem too.
Well, that's right. If you're hearing the scratchy sound with the receiver, then it's doing the same thing on transmits, or much worse. So you definitely don't want that.
Well, I don't usually put power in it when I'm turning it, even for tuning it up. I just use the analyzer.
Well, yeah, if you use an analyzer, you can do it, sure. I just use I go on with 1,000, 1,500 watts and tune it, you know, so that's right.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about that. You know, I might do it occasionally with 100 watts, but definitely not with the amp.
Well, I do it with the amp.
We can start out small and go big.
Yeah, your tuner may be a bit more robust than mine as well.
Well, this is a pretty robust tuner. I have to say, it's really very, very nicely made.
And I just dump everything into the antenna. Like this is the frequency I want to use. You know, my 4811. I just dump the file in it, and here I am. Right now I'm on my portable, which is not the major station, it's the minor station. And yeah, I'm just using the HF radio to a dipole. Hopefully you can all hear me. Yellow Charlie, Chief Delta, Mike Charlie.
What radio are you using?
Yeah, Mom and Pop.
What kind of radio?
I'm on a... Hold on. Things don't look good here. 855. I'm on a TS440 SAT. Over.
Yeah, okay, because the audio's not really great, that's for sure. So I was wondering what you were running.
I had it set up elsewhere. So it's a little better now. Over.
I'm having a hard time hearing you because your signal's not real big, number one, and the audio's very monotone, and it doesn't sound like you're running. Are you running processing?
No, well, I am not running processing. Down here, I have to figure out where I'm at. I might have had a portable signal, but I just plugged in the big antenna. How copy now? Over.
Well, that appears to be better.
I'm here.
It's about time.
I was watching the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
What the hell is that?
It's a comedy show. It's a series. It's awesome. And it's Maureen's favorite series. And she says, can we watch that tonight? I want to introduce you to Mrs. Maisel. So I said, sure, I'll watch Mrs. Maisel. Huh? And I got to see her boobies. But that's not why I watched it. But it was a very good show. It's actually quite funny. It's actually, you would love it because it's very quick-witted.
Wait a second. What did you just say? You got to see somebody's boobies?
Yeah, Mrs. Maisel's boobies.
Oh, that's what I was wondering. Okay.
That's Bo Peep's favorite show. She binge-watched that there, Randy.
Oh, she likes that. It's very clever, you know, and I like that kind of thing.
What channel's it on? I never heard of it.
I think 3.
Oh, okay. How can it be on 3 and they show boobies?
It's on Amazon, you fool.
Oh, channel 3 on Amazon. Okay.
I don't know what channel. It's on Amazon. I don't know if there's a channel.
Amazon Prime, WA2JID.
Hey, Bernie, you made it home.
Yeah, I made it home a little bit late. I got here about 7 o'clock. We went out to dinner at about 2 o'clock and went to an Irish pub and had a couple IPAs. What was it? Middle Ages IPA from Syracuse. It was great.
Oh yeah, Middle Ages wit, maybe. That's what Maureen likes. Yeah. So you went to a pub here. Did you go to Kitty Hong's?
And I'll turn it back to Nat.
Did you go to? We like. Well, Maureen likes the IPA, the Middle Ages wit. Did you go to Kitty Hong's by any chance?
No, we went. We actually walked there from their house. She said it was 4 blocks. Well, it was about 4 long blocks. I bet it was close to a mile. But anyway, we walked there. It was called Riley's, and it had been there since the 1880s, I think. But it was an old pub, and it was great, and the food was really good. They go there every Thursday for lunch, and their lunch becomes dinner. So I haven't had any supper, and I'm not going to. But anyway, it was great. I'll do that again.
Yeah, Riley's is a barbecue place, right?
No, I don't think so. There might be another one that's Riley's. I don't know. It's an Irish pub, is what it is.
Yeah, it's a good place. I know what you mean. Well, yeah, it's so very good. I'm happy that you got to see a little bit of the beautiful city of Syracuse, and it was good to see you today. You got to see the wonderful block plant where I work, so that was pretty cool. I'm not. Hey, did you get the Stewart Electric?
Yeah, I was just going to tell you about that. Now, let me tell you what happened. I went in there, and both of the Stewarts were there, the old guy and the young guy. And I went up to the counter, and I showed him the thing, and I said, Randy bought this here. And he said, you had another one. And he said, yeah, let me go look. And he comes back, and he says, he rummaged through a bin there, and he says, oh, I got it. All it is the case, there's no innards, and he said, I don't know where the rest of it is. And I said, well, you know what, I'll probably take it anyway. And he said, wait a minute. He went rummaging around in the back room and came back, and he rummaged around for a while, and he came back with a sealed package, a plastic package, with the one that has the ring on it that you screw on, and it had two of the rings. It had two rings in it. And he said, you know what? Here's two rings in this one. It's never been opened. And he says, now you got a ring for the other one. So I said, okay, well, I'll take it. How much you want? And he said, oh, I don't know, $7.98. It's got more stuff in it. And I said, I handed him $10, and he started to hand me money back, and I said, no, keep the $10. It's worth that. So anyway, I went out of there happy, and if I ever need anything else like that, I will definitely go back there. I said, you guys have everything. And I told him, I said, you know, you can't get these things, these connectors. I said, I've seen them as much as $25 to $40 used on the internet. I said, I'm glad to buy a brand new, and it's Amphenol too, for $10. So anyway, I got two of those connectors.
Yeah, I'm going to send him a text right now. Well, that's great. I'm glad you went over there. Isn't that the greatest? I mean, I love that. I love both of those guys. And I go over there, and for one thing, the next thing you know, and the odd thing is, I look for a reason to go over there, just because I like hanging out with those guys. They're just great guys, and Mike is just, he's just a wealth of information. And it doesn't matter what it is. If you ask him, he's the guy that crews. He's the guy that, okay, so I don't look up to an awful lot of guys. He's the guy that has the fire gun, the flamethrower, and he's also the guy that crews and does all the work on that 240 mile an hour speedboat that you saw in the background there, if you notice that. But he is just a brilliant guy, and it doesn't matter if it's tubes or surface mount. He understands it, he knows it, and he can bear it.
Yeah, well, you know what? I really got a kick out of those guys. I didn't spend a lot of time, and I didn't talk to them for a long time, but the thing that really struck me is when I pulled in there, I saw that Jeep snowplow out there, and I'm thinking, these guys have been plowing snow in this driveway for 20 years or more. I mean, that thing's out of the 60s, I think. They had an old Jeep there, all rusted out, and it had, I think, a Fisher plow mount on it on the front. And I said, these guys have been doing this for years. Anyway, that really struck me. But, yeah, they've been there for a long, long time, and they have a lot of stuff, used and new, and, oh my God, I'd love to just go through there and just see what they really have. Someday somebody's going to have an auction, and they'll probably, I can't imagine they make a lot of money there, but who knows. But, yeah, they got stuff, back from the 60s.
Oh, yeah, even before, way before. And I've talked to Mike a bunch of times, and I've asked him, because what's going to happen is he'll take it over from Stewart. When Stu passes, he gets the place. And I said, so then what? I said, he goes, well, I'm gonna put a camera out front, and I'm just only gonna let the people I like in here. I said, well, I'll never have a chance to come in then. He goes, no, you'll be the only guy I let in here. He says, I go in the back. We're always in the back working on stuff, you know. And it just, if you saw the front, if you saw the back, your mind would just blow. It would just, it's what they got all back there. I said to him one day, I said to Stuart one day, you know, it's impossible to find good steel wire with a heavy copper coating on it. What? What are you talking? Mike, go get the hand truck. And next thing you know, they wheel out like a 10,000-foot roll. I forget how big it is, but it's a big, big, big roll of really, and it's like 10 gauge heavy steel wire with a super heavy coating of copper on it, you know. He goes, this is the best you can get. I don't care how much money you got, you know. But he's got it all back, you know. They're just amazing. They're just amazing guys. Anyway, that's enough of that. Back to net. KB2's MVP.
I had your Barilla pasta tonight.
Did you like it okay?
Yeah, it was fine. It tastes pretty much the same.
Yeah, and the texture is a little bit denser, right?
Maybe. I don't know. It was pretty close. It wasn't bad.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, I enjoyed it just fine. I thought it was pretty darn good, considering it was corn and rice, you know.
Yeah, but the corn may be as bad as the wheat.
Hey, Ray.
Non-GMO.
Yeah, no GMO, right? Yeah, that's the big difference. Yeah, go ahead, Russ.
They got pasta made from Jerusalem artichoke. I think you ought to give that a shot.
Well, I was looking at Odd Pastas, and they have it all. You can get all kinds of green pasta made of all different stuff, but I'd have to really go over there with a good pair of glasses, and it's got to be non-GMO, number one.
Jerusalem artichoke. Boy, he'll be singing tunes from Fiddler on the Roof. Evening, guys. KT Tootie.
Hey, Tootie.
Hey, boys. Listening to the discussion on various metals to enhance the conductivity of lubricants.
Yeah, I bet you the military has some really good stuff.
And if you thought $1,300 for a tube was expensive, I don't know. I will guarantee you there is a mil spec for it. And but anyway, I was thinking while you guys were talking about that. And anyway, back to you guys, KT Tootie.
$20 on Amazon for 7 grams.
Somebody's in there real bassy. Who's that?
Oh, it's this is K1YW. I was listening to you guys, and I bought some of this silver conductive grease from Amazon. 7 grams. It's by MC Chemicals for $22.
Yeah, that's pretty reasonable. Hey, there's a blood pressure monitor I want to see if you can get it on Amazon. If I give you the name of it, will somebody look it up?
I want to talk to Greg and find out what's going on with his audio. Let's help him out.
Well, first of all, what kind of radio is Greg running?
This is a experimental Red Pitaya SDR. I can change the audio. Hold on a second here. Too much bass.
How's
that? Any better?
You don't have near enough highs. It's not so much that the bass is terrible, but there's no highs. There's no brightness.
Is he running an SDR?
Yeah.
Is that any better with the highs?
It's a lot better. Can you go more?
Let's see. Well, that's my mixer here. I can go into my equalizer. It's give me a moment.
Hey, Ray, while he's doing that, I opened up my Amazon browser, and right up there is an ad for Johnson Paste Wax. Right, so if you need some more, we can get you some, so if you got to polish any more tables or chairs.
No, I got enough to polish the whole house. How much does it cost?
Give me a second here while I scroll down. This is a 16-ounce can for $6.41.
Wow, that is one hell of a bargain. I did all my mother's. She had a mahogany bedroom set with two dressers, and I brought it up here, and I did it with turtle wax first to kind of get the crud off it, and then I hit it with that Johnson's Paste Wax, and man, did that come out nice. It's really shiny. Let me go see if I can find the name of that blood pressure thing. I want to know what one of those cost. I'll be right back. N1.
What kind of an SCR is he running there?
We're waiting for him to come back.
Gal Charlie,
Somebody's tuning up.
Charlie monitoring out.
Somebody doubled with somebody. Who's monitoring?
Gal Charlie 2, Delta Mike Charlie. Good afternoon.
Kilo Charlie 2, Delta Mike. Oh, okay, you've been in here before. What's going on?
I guess you are, but I was listening to the metal and lithium grease on the cog when you're using a roller inductor earlier, and just was intrigued about, probably the best thing is in a vacuum or under fluid, using a fluid with the roller inductor. If you don't have a fluid roller inductor or, and you have capacitors that are in a chamber, with vacuum variable capacitors, you gotta limit the amount of plasma that's going to build up. So you take the environment out of it. And the more you put crap on it, the more the plasma will build up and cause issues. Degradation of the metals, make it an oxide or whatever. It's like the sun hitting copper. It's KC2. When they do say graphite, the lighthouse when you're running it dry. Well, who knows? It's very difficult to run a roller inductor. I use like inductor, and I use passive pivot.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many vacuum variables you're going to get with some of these tuners are, they're all working, right? They do what they do, and they work well enough. So we're experimenting with a little bit of lubrication, but we're just putting in graphite as an electronic enhancer into a lithium grease, and so anyway, that's that. KB2's at VP.
Yeah, I don't think we're ready to tackle redesigning the tuner, but anyway, KT2D.
If you build an antenna caught for the band, you don't have to run into that kind of rigmarole. Like where am I now? I'm going direct to the antenna. I see a 2.3 to 1 ratio. Well, I don't care if it's a full-size 160 antenna, but it does make a difference if you go down below 1.8. At that point, either if you have a loop, then you tune it. But right here, I'm going direct. From here to 2.1 megahertz, I go direct. With the tuner, and you're running higher power, I always remember, you run it slow and higher, but I always have a peep screen, a little spot to look in as I'm operating, because, when you're modulating higher ends, you tend to see things arc, but probably that doesn't happen. But the best thing is using a field strength meter outside of your antenna. Like here in the house, I got a real cheap diode field strength meter, and I'm sitting here, watching it flinch.
Yeah, okay, so that's just, you're talking about fantasy land. I run a loop antenna, and I run my tuner goes from 10 meters to 160, and I can run 3,000 watts into it for 3 minutes and doesn't get warm a bit, so I'm good enough for that. So that's enough of that talk. So let's go on to, let's go back to Gregory there, K1YW. Are you there, Greg?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to get to my transmit equalizer here. I turned the bass down a little bit here. Hello, is that any better?
Yeah, you're sounding a lot better. It's a whole bunch better.
Bob, the blood pressure tester is an Omron, O-M-R-O-N. O-M-R-O-N. See if you can get me a price on that.
Okay, so we got John BYP hang on a second. BYP is out. I got a bunch of text messages. I got a whole bunch of them coming in. Hang on one second, Randy. John is out at Nearfest. John, who's the strongest at Nearfest?
Boy, he's a trooper. It's going to rain all day.
You then, Ray. Hey, I'm stronger than you, Ray. I'm kicking your tail.
Impossible. Impossible. Not up there.
Well, okay. Let's see. Who do I do this? Okay, this is, thank you, John. I'm going to send this to Tootie. Tootie, when you get this text message, would you read it to Ray, please?
I got to work on getting those other two wires on my antenna.
KC3, KXP. Yeah, you should, Ray. KD1 Mountain Whiskey. Hello, Nearfest.
You're strong to me, Bruce. You're real strong tonight.
I turn the amp on.
Right, well, you're give me a good signal.
Hey, Bruce is always strong here in Albany. What's the Omron number, Ray?
Bruce, you're a real good copy up there in Nearfest.
Who's over at Nearfest? We're heading over on Saturday.
It was a little square machine. It was like 6 inches by 6 inches, battery powered.
What's the number?
I have one when I went. So they're anywhere from, let's see, there's a tiny one, anywhere from they're 28 to like 67, depending on the model.
Yeah, okay. Well, that sounds good. Okay. That's cheap enough. I got one here, but I'm not positive it works. It's a real old one, so I don't know if they lose their accuracy.
Who's over at Nearfest?
KC3, KXP.
Yes, Tim, go ahead. Pick it up.
This is a little bit more high-end on the audio. K1YW.
Okay, YW, were you the one that had the bassy audio?
Yeah, I threw in some more highs. How does it sound?
Yeah, it's definitely getting better. It's way better than it was. Way better.
It's a poor man's SDR, a red Pitaya, and it's driving a PA from an old ICOM 735.
Wow, you really like to work hard.
It sounded much better now, though.
No, it sounded a lot better here at WATKID.
Greg, do you listen here often?
Once in a while. When the signals are coming in, everyone's got strong signals here, so...
Yeah, okay, yeah, well, you're doing a good job here. Where am I? I'm in central New York. Just checking my SWR here. Just making sure, we had some big storms come through here last night. Okay, yeah. So we're all set. Anyway, I'm in central New York, and you're, how much power are you running?
I'm running 100 watts, and I'm in Pocahontas stand here, Hudson, Mass, People's Republic.
Yeah, okay. You're between 10 and 20, so you're doing a heck of a job. Do you have an amplifier that you can run behind that thing?
Not hooked up right now. It's hooked up to my old radio. I'm just playing around with this thing. It's spread out on my table.
I'll tell you something. You sound remarkably better than you did when you first came in here.
I listen to myself on my other radio, but it's hard to tell with the, echo and all the stuff and hearing yourself feedback and stuff.
Hey, Ray.
Yes.
I've got like 160,000 lookups or something. You got 20-some thousand lookups. Greg's got 99,617,215.
Well, how about?
Something tells me he's just goofing around.
I don't know. I think they're looking for me.
Yeah, the actual lookup is 3,600. But very good. Okay. Well, nice to meet you, Greg. I haven't talked to you before, and you're out there in Hudson, Mass, right? So you're doing a good job. Stop by any time. We're always in here.
What server? How many lookups? What server?
What's your antenna, Greg?
No problem. It's good to hear you guys. I put up an antenna not too long ago, and I really love this band. It's great.
I doubled with you. What is? And I asked you actually, what antenna are you running?
It's an inverted L I've had up since the fall.
So, are you familiar with the group here? The kind of the dynamics of the group?
Yeah, a little bit. I know a guy, W1NJC, who's frequented here, Nick.
Well, we'll let you come in, even though we know him too. So we have a get together in June 15th, down in in Kingston, New York, and it's a picnic. If you want to take a trip down to Kingston, New York, there'll be a lot of people from your neck of the woods that'll be there, and you're welcome to come by and say hi and meet everybody.
Yeah, maybe. Just remind me when it comes up. If I'm free, I'll definitely try to go.
Well, I'm not going to remind you of anything. I just told you, and you've got all kinds of technology at your fingertips, so set an alarm. I don't know what the hell to tell you.
Hey, okay, I'll have to look at the Facebook page, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. Look on the Facebook page.
What's the event, Kingston?
Randy's having trouble here. Hang on one second. Randy, are you hearing us okay?
Am I hearing you okay?
No, Randy's having trouble with he's hooking the Mark V back up.
Why is that?
Well, it doesn't matter. He's just going to run that thing. So, have you tried it, Randy, without the amplifier? Just try just the radio itself? KC3, KSB. Hey, Tom.
Hi, Randy. Hi, Ray.
How's the hot tub?
Hey, great. I just got out of it. You said storms. We're probably an hour out. They got a low front coming through. And like I say, it's probably an hour out. It's coming in from Ohio.
Who got those storms that we had last night?
They come through here. Man, did we get we must have had 2 inches of rain.
Yeah, I went out and got another tractor for Maureen, and we were coming back, and when we were leaving there, it was west of us here, and when we were leaving there, you could just feel it, and the sky was darkening, and you could see the lightning up in the sky, and I looked on the phone, and it was a massive front coming toward us. So we beat it home, but we never unloaded the tractor. I just left it on the truck.
Where's the old tractor?
It's out in the barn.
Is that in good shape?
Well, I was looking for it. Okay, this is a John Deere 262, and these are kind of like they have kind of like a cult following. They're just a really, really good rugged tractor, and I needed it. I was drunk. And we were out there. Honest to God, I was drunk. We were having a bonfire next door, and I had been drinking. And we have a barn full of wood, and we're up in the bonfire. So, I walked in there and I tripped and I fell and I landed on the hood of Maureen's John Deere tractor, and I broke the hood. It's plastic, and so I was looking to buy a new hood for the tractor, and I was looking around, and I wound up buying a tractor, or a hood up in Watertown, New York, and then a guy came on, and in the Facebook, where they sell stuff, I forget what they call it, and he had a couple of 262s for sale, and I thought, geez, it'd be great to have another one of these, because they're really, really, really good tractors. So I went out to his place. Well, Christ, he's got like 150 John Deere tractors. He's a guy that buys them. He's connected with all the John Deere dealerships, and he gets all the trade-ins, and he fixes them up, and he sells them, and he sells parts off of them, and that, and the other thing. So I went up there yesterday, and he had a beautiful 262, which is in better shape than ours. Starts right up and runs great. So I said, screw it, I'm just going to buy that, and I'll keep our 262 for parts. But like he said, you can go out and buy a brand new tractor today for the same money you buy this old tractor for. Run it for the exact same hours, and you'll need 2 or 3 of those other tractors before you wear out this 262. These are just phenomenally good tractors, and so I didn't really need to buy another one, but I bought another one. But the one that I bought is in really, really great shape, and our tractors, running wise, it's in great shape. It just the motor deck is really rotten, and the hood is broke, and I've got to put a new hood on it. And I'll keep one for either like parts or just one with no deck on it, so I can use it to tow things around, and one with a deck on it that she can mow with.
Geez, I'm sorry I asked. So how much did you pay for the new one?
$1,500.
Oh, okay, that's not cheap. I figured they were like $300 or $400. Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Oh no, you would buy this would be like a $3,000 or $4,000 tractor if it were new today. It's a real garden tractor, PTO and the whole bit.
Yeah, right. More than I need.
Was a dented hood.
What's that, Tootie?
Yeah, the original problem was a dented or a broken hood, but you said the deck was corroded too. Is that correct?
Yeah, the deck was shot. Well, it's not shot. I'm a welder, right? So I fixed the deck on it, and they both run great. I mean, did I need to buy a new one? No, I didn't need to buy a new one. The rot that's on the old deck I can certainly fix without any trouble. But I thought it was a good deal and a good time to buy another tractor.
Sounds like a good move, because it sounds like you got a good deal, and the timing was right. You're a wise man, Randy.
And you know what the funniest thing is, Ray?
What is it?
He sells hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of John Deere tractors, and we were talking about I told him where I worked and stuff, and he was saying, geez, I could use some blocks for my fire pit. So of course I load the pickup up with 2,000 pounds of block. I bring it up to his place, and we're going to unload it into the tractor bucket. What kind of tractor do you think he has that he uses himself?
Kubota.
A Kubota 7800. That's right. I said, well, you're a smart man. You can sell all this John Deere crap. I said, but when you need a tractor for yourself, you use a Kubota. He goes, I've had this tractor since it was new, back in the 80s. You know how much money I paid for, or you know how much money I spent on this tractor? I said, I would say probably nothing. He goes, you're 100% right. The only thing I've ever done to this tractor is change the oil. Other than that, it's 100% original. It's never given me 1 second of trouble.
Are they still good today? A lot of stuff was good in the 80s, and they've gone downhill. But Kubotas, I guess, are still pretty good quality.
Oh, I love Kubota tractors. That's what I have. I've had 4 of them, and these are just a phenomenal tractor. I wouldn't trade anything at all for my Kubota.
Randy, when did they stop making that one you bought today?
1993.
Okay, so and you said that it had a plastic shroud on it?
Yeah, they've had plastic shrouds for many. These are garden tractors, Bruce, not a big tractor like yours.
Yeah, I know. I've had a few of them. In fact, I got I forget, 370, 270, I don't know. For the mower. But, and we've had a couple before that. But I think this is the first one I've had with a plastic shroud, which is since broken, and I just run it without the shroud. I put a couple of aluminum rods coming down the side to hold the front grill onto the the part where the wheel is, and we run it like that, and it's just fine.
Yeah, well, Maureen doesn't like to watch the flywheel on the top move around, and you can see that. So the whole outside of the shroud is good, but they have a two-piece shroud, and the very top is what's broken. So I've got to change that. I bought the top piece, and it's funny when you talk about these 262s. The guy I bought the shroud from, he says, I said, "You sure this fits a 262?" He goes, "Come with me." He goes, we go into the garage, and he's got this 262 like cherried out, right? He said, I bought that shroud, and he goes, I cracked it, and there's a little tiny crack in it. He goes, and I wouldn't put that on a tractor, so I had to get another one. And he goes, but this is like a pristine 262, he said. And the guy's like, he's like going to take it to the tractor shows and stuff, And I don't know, it's just a pretty cool tractor. But the 400 series, I was going to buy a 400 series tractor from the guy, from a different guy. And this guy, the John Deere expert, said, "Now what is it? Is it a 400 or a 445 or a 478? What is it?" I said, "No, it's a 400." He goes, "Don't buy it. They're junk. They got an opposed engine with a oil bath. They whip the oil up. They don't have an oil pump, and they just splatter the oil around." And he goes, "They're great on a golf course, but if you got a hill, the piston that's up in the air doesn't get oil." And he goes, they just burn up. They just blow those motors left and right. So he goes, "Don't never buy a John Deere 400 unless you have a golf course. It's perfectly flat."
Wow, that's good to know, I guess. Yeah, who the heck has a perfectly flat lawn?
Yeah, that's what he said. He goes, it's a really dog. It's the only dog they ever really made. And what I thought interesting was the new John Deeres that you go to the Home Depot to buy are still made by John Deere. I said, "No way." I said, "I was always told that they were made by MTD." And he goes, "I don't know who said that originally," he said, "but everybody says that, but it's not true, not at all." He goes, "They are made by John Deere. And any John Deere you go to the Home Depot to buy is 10 times better than any of the tractor they have at Home Depot." He goes, "They're still a very good tractor." And this guy's a John Deere expert. He knows a bazillion times more about John Deere's than anybody I know. But he goes, they're a very good tractor. He said they're not as good as like the older tractors, but for a modern tractor, they're exceptional.
Yeah, my son out front here lives next door, has a John Deere. He bought, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I guess. And he's had good luck with it. He just runs the hell out of it and does a good job.
I was talking to him about the diesel tractors like what you have and the modern ones, and I said to him that when I worked, and he happens to know very well the guy that used to own a John Deere dealership at North Country, whereas is a company that I used to run. They own that John Deere dealership. And I said to him, I was told by the mechanics there never to buy a new John Deere diesel tractor because they're piles. The transmissions are just junk in them. And he goes, it's funny. He says, I have 2 John Deeres in here right now
diesels with buckets on them, and both of them have Yugoslavian or whatever country transmissions are in them, and they're both whipped. And one's only got 200 hours on it, and the transmission's whipped. He goes, I wouldn't give you 10 cents for one of the new John Deere tractors. The old ones I like a lot, he said, but the new ones, I'm not sure what year you would say would be a new one. She said, but he said the ones that I have here, the transmissions are just shot.
Yeah, Tom, the old timer. When I was tracking down the parts that I needed, I was over there at the dealership in Middletown, and I ran across the owner, the old timer, who's been there forever. His younger parts of his family run it now, and I told him I was repairing the old 870. He said, boy, I'd love to have some of those tractors now, boy, because the new stuff doesn't stack up to that at all. He specifically was complaining about all the electrical stuff on them now that they have, and he says it's a big problem.
Yeah, hang on to what you got till you die. You just can't beat that old stuff. And they were just built to work. And I've not heard anything good. I like my new modern Kubota. It does a great job. But and I got the biggest one that I could buy without the DEF filters on them and all that stuff. But I don't know. When you're looking for a tractor, what do you look for? You want reliability and rugged, good pulling power, good lifting power. So how fancy do you have to make these freaking things, Anyway, KB2 ZVP.
Do you remember a tractor called the Panzer?
Oh, yeah, they made Panzer. Yeah.
Guy next door to me when I was growing up had a Panzer, and he had it he must have had it for 20 years, and that was all cast iron and everything. That was quite the machine.
Duty, didn't Panzer make a tank?
Yeah, they were made in Germany.
Yeah, they made tanks, Ray.
Is that the same company?
Nah, Panzer's the German word for armor. Randy's being funny.
No, I'm not being funny. Panzer makes tractors. It's a Panzer tractor.
Oh, no, I know it, but the Panzer, it's just the German name for tank, or it strictly means armor. I like the German word for rhinoceros has Panzer in it. So, but I didn't know there was a tractor company. But the companies that made the German tanks, there was no Panzer company. It was a bunch of others, Henschel, Mann, and those guys.
Yeah, Panzers, they had center single wheels and center double wheels. They used Panzers a lot for tractor pulls. There's a whole. I always thought it was the same company. I didn't know it. How do I know?
Is it an American company or overseas?
Well, it sounds like it's German to me. I always thought that they were in German.
Yeah, well, I can look it up. It could be, it's a German name, but it could be just a marketing thing. Yeah, we'll see in a second here.
Hey, Randy.
Yeah.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah, you got it working?
Well, I think I got a bad amp cable. This is, oh, shoot, that's only 75 watts.
I thought maybe you had your RID on or something and you were out of bands.
Negative. There's 200. How's that?
Man, you're 20 over to me. You're close to me, so your signal's going straight up. Ray can probably hear you better than I hear you.
Really?
Ray, do you hear Randy?
Yeah, I hear you.
W2KRY.
About a little over 10 over 9.
That's just me going through the AT4K here with the 200 watts on the MP Mark V.
Hey, you're like 30 over to me, so you're plenty strong for 100 watts. You got to fix your audio, but you're doing good to me.
No, it's 200.
Okay, well, whatever. You're good for 200 watts. You're good for 1,000 watts. You're 30 over.
Okay, thanks.
So, Randy, the Model A Panzer was produced in College Park, Maryland in 1954.
Yeah, that's some place in Germany, right?
Yeah, it's right next to Baltimore, Germany.
Yeah, Stuttgart, I think they called it. Well, they're pretty cool old tractors. I've seen a lot of those old Panzer tractors, and I just assumed, you never assume, but I just assumed that they were the same as the Panzer Tank Company.
I tell you, looking at the pictures, I've seen these. They're very interesting.
Do they still make them?
It doesn't look like, I gotta read through it. It doesn't look like it because the site that I'm on is more of a historical thing, preserving and collecting old Panzers. So let me see.
There's I go onto a lot of tractor sites, and I know someplace, if you look it up, you'll find Panzer.com or something like that. And there's a lot of people that have those tractors that they go on there, and they have people that sell parts and the preservation of Panzer tractors. I love the internet for stuff like that.
What, your fest is on this weekend? What fest is on this weekend?
Randy, did you send that out?
Yeah.
I dabble with you.
Okay. All right. I'll get together with you this weekend or something and get together with you.
Yeah, we should do something.
Roger. I know one thing I'm going to do is call Rob Sherwood tomorrow.
Why?
Just make sure he spells my name correctly. In the Toad Harbor net.
What? I'm sorry, I blanked out. I hit the wrong button. What was that?
I said I'm going to make sure he spells the Toad Harbor net and my name correctly. Yeah.
Round ball, fourth kid.
I got to listen, dude. I've got to get credit where I've got to get us out there. We got to get the name out.
Hey, Randy.
Yes, sir.
If you're talking to Bob Sherwood tomorrow, tell him I want an SE3 if he's got one laying around.
An SE Sierra Echo 3?
Correct.
Okay, will do. Ray, did you ever call my best buddy Rob Sherwood to talk to him? Raymond. Must be on a telephone.
Okay, Randy, I got some history here.
Go ahead.
So Panzer began with a prototype tractor designed by Jim Clark in 1953. The Copar Company was formed to build tractors, constructing them in Maryland. Copar was sold to Virginia Metal Crafters in 1960, and production was moved soon after. Panzer became part of Jackson Manufacturing in 1970 and was closed as part of bankruptcy in 1971. Dandy Sales purchased remaining parts and patterns. That's what we got.
Wow, they didn't have a very they didn't have a career like or a history like Kubota or John Deere, did they?
No, looks like 18 years is what they lasted. How about Massey Ferguson? Are they still in business?
Who owns Massey Ferguson now? That's the question.
Probably Shanghai Holding Company or something.
I almost think that Ford took over Massey. Yeah, right. I think Ford took Massey over.
Was that a long time ago?
I couldn't tell you how long ago, but I think it was. I think that, and I'm not sure. I'm not an expert at this at all, but I think Massey Ferguson was bought by Ford. In my mind, that's what I think.
I know Ford bought New Holland.
Right. Oh, that's right. Maybe I'm mixing that up. Was it International that bought Massey? Who bought Massey?
AGCO.
AGCO?
Yeah, they're the company that bought out Alice Chalmers. AGCO.
Yeah, that's the AGCO. That's a big conglomerate. They own all kinds of things, right? They bought Massey. I know they owned Alice Chalmers. Do they own Massey as well? They have parts of like New Holland and Alice Chalmers and Case.
For a while there at the Deutsch Ellis, their tractors were like a lime green.
Yeah, but I think AGCO, they own all kinds of stuff. I think they own like Massey Ferguson, and you're thinking of that Voltar, the Voltar tractor, the lime green one.
I don't know, down at the park I had a Mahindra with a 24-horse diesel, and I had 1,000 hours on it when I sold it with the park there, and that was a phenomenal tractor.
That was what now? What kind?
Mahindra.
You bought a Mahindra?
It was an excellent tractor.
That's a Korean tractor, right?
To tell you the truth, I don't know. Maybe from India?
Oh, India. Yeah, I think you're right. They have that's one that Rush always advertises. How many hours do you think Rush has got on the tractor seat?
I don't know.
Who has more hours on the tractor seat, you or Rush?
I don't know, but I run a 2040 John Deere here that I have for years now.
What is it?
2040 with a 4-cylinder diesel. I run a 7-foot finish mower behind it, and I have a bucket on it.
What's the one what do you have, Russ? Are you still there?
Come back.
Yeah, Russ, what tractor do you have?
I got a 79 Cub Cadet International.
Yeah, you can't buy a good one of those anymore either. They're toast now. The new ones are junk.
Yeah, they got bought out by MTD. MTD ruined Troy-Bilt, too.
Yeah, that's right.
But the share pin on differential on the Pumpkin used to go all the time when I had that problem. But yeah, the International Harvesters, they're good tractors, man. Kilo Charlie 2 Delta.
So my dad had a Cub, and he bought a couple of those things, modern Cubs, and nothing like the old ones, that's for sure.
Wow, the John Deere 2040, manufactured in Mannheim, Germany. I lived there for 4 years. Interesting.
That's a great tractor. Only thing that ever went.
Did you, when you lived there, was that back, how many years ago was that?
I was there 75 to 79.
Why were you living in Mannheim, Germany?
3020 and 3020 turbo diesel, and that was a nice tractor.
Judy, why did you live in Germany? Was that your military days?
Yeah, it was my first tour. So I was commissioned in June '74. By the time I finished with all Ranger Airborne Armor Officer Basic, my first assignment was in the 8th Infantry Division, and my barracks, the battalion I was in one of the Mannheim areas. I actually lived out in Weinheim, which is a little bit west in the Rhine Valley, but Mannheim was the city that my concern was in. But yep, that's why I was there.
How did the Germans treat you?
Oh, very nice. I actually didn't live in government housing. I lived in a German apartment we had, and to this day, there's our German friends that were about the same age as us, and several others that we met while we were there. We still correspond, and my kids correspond with their kids, and it was great. I even extended a year to stay there, and I went back there for my second tour. So I really enjoyed living there.
They say my ancestors are German, but without with Ancestry.com or whatever they call that nowadays, you never know until you do that. But I'm probably Puerto Rican or something. But I believe my ancestors are from Germany.
Well, you can find the Ancestry.com. I just sent my stuff in with, it's called 23andMe. It's a little more expensive, but it's more detailed information. But yeah, with DNA tracing and all of that stuff, they can, but they give you all these warnings. You may find out stuff that causes you to have an emotional reaction. And so you hear all these stories that one guy found out he was a sperm bank baby, and nobody told him. Everybody in the family knew except him. Anyway, KT2D.
Hey, Randy, you can go to FamilySearch.org. It's run by the LDS Church. You don't have to pay out the nose or anything. You just got to register with them. And I went back like 10 or 12 generations on my mom's side of the family, just using all their resources.
FamilySearch.org, eh? I'll have Maureen look that up. She likes looking at that stuff. She's done a bunch of stuff with her family.
Randy, when did you start speaking Canadian? Eh?
It was back in the porn days. I picked that up back in the porn days, Tom.
All right, you and Ron Jeremy.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, Tom?
Sure.
Yes, this is Bob, KT2D. I ordered 2 Dunstan chestnut trees for my backyard, so looking forward to it.
All right. And those 25 chestnuts that I planted, they never come up.
Be back in a minute. KB2ZVP.
Oh, did you planted the nuts? Maybe they weren't germinated. Is that the right term, or fertilized, or pollinated? I guess.
I really don't know, but like I said, I planted them in peat pots, and what they said to do free. So they crack the shell and then plant them, and 25 of them never come up.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I think the black oak can't grow where it doesn't freeze because they need the freeze to crack the acorn. I think it's the black oak. Interesting. Now I'm intrigued. I'll have to look into that because anyway, these are saplings. So I'll when they come, I'm looking forward to putting them in and seeing how they grow.
Roger. Are they the American chestnuts or the Dunstan?
They're the Dunstan.
Yeah, those are really supposed to be big.
Thanks. I'll make sure I put them in the right place then.
Yeah, I'm talking about the nuts instead of the trees.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I gotcha. But they're the ones that are supposed to be more blight resistant. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, I thought that because when you were talking about them a couple of weeks ago, I was taking notes on them, and then so anyway, I'll let you know how it goes.
Roger. There's a guy in the Ham Radio Club through the American Chestnut Foundation. He's having a tree down in Clarion, Pennsylvania. He's going to have that certified as American chestnuts. And if it gets certified, he says he's going to have quite a few nuts for me.
Great, that'll be good.
Then I'll have to get your address and I'll send some on to you.
Sure, no problem. Did you go on QRZ?
Pardon me, I'm having a hard time hearing you. We got a front coming in within the hour now.
Yeah, I don't have the strongest signal either, but my address is there. If not, I can send it to you.
Okay, yeah, QRZ, yeah. I'm on there also. I'll find you.
Yeah, it's Kilo Tango 2 Delta, and you'll be on. You'll see me. Thanks.
Roger. All right, thank you.
Did Ray cash in tonight?
Last I knew, he went to look for some wax for a mahogany bedroom set or something.
He's getting bored, so he's going to start waxing his tables again.
Roger. Yeah, that front has really got to be close. It's my noise level's gone up substantially. I got out of the hot tub just in time.
I'm looking at the radar, and it looks like everything from me all the way out to, Illinois and Kentucky. Looks like there's patches of storms all over, and a big squall line coming across. It looks like Michigan.
I don't have wicked KB2ZVP, by the way. I don't have wicked static crashes in here, though, tonight.
You will, because mine is really picked up. KC3 KXB.
His place.
looks like Michigan. I can't talk. Hi.
Hi, guys.
My wife is attacking me in a good way, in the bestest of, not the bestest of ways, but in a pretty nice way.
That's so cool. Yeah. You tiger.
She's she's great. So she just came in and gave me a big hug when I was trying to transmit, and brought me a glass of water. Thank you. But looks like we've got some rain and stuff all over. Well, looks like it's all over the place, isn't it? Ohio, that other state there, wherever that is, I guess that's Illinois, Texas.
Yeah, that's all over Pennsylvania down to Virginia, West Virginia. Anyway, Randy and gang, I'm going to have to head in, get my usual early call, and it's been a long week, so we'll catch you later. Good chat, and KT 2D 73, guys.
Good night, Tootie. 73. We'll see you tomorrow.
Roger. Night all.
See you, Bob. Hey, Carl.
Good to hear you. Good night.
Yeah, good night, 73s.
Hi, Randy.
I didn't know you were in here, Carl.
Oh, I was just quietly off to the side doing some stuff.
Were you playing with your new oscilloscope?
Oh, yeah. I'm relearning all the stuff I forgot for many years.
Did you get to Bruce the information that he was looking for, your sine wave of your power grid?
Yeah, and I got an email back from him. He sent me some samples of the AC lines when he's traveled across the country, and the best one he had was from Dodge City.
Well, how is yours? How does yours compare to Dodge City?
Oh, I'm not as good as Dodge City. Up at the peaks of the sine wave, instead of being a nice turnaround, it's kind of flattened off. And that's what he was talking about. And he showed me one from his house, and it's even worse than mine.
Oh, now I've got to work on mine this weekend. Then I got to get a good look at mine.
Well, let me grab my phone upstairs. I'll send you a picture. I got it on the phone.
Roger.
WA2JID, I'm back.
So how'd you like the little tour today? It wasn't much of a tour, but I was kind of busy. But anyway, it's good to see you, and I'm happy that you came around.
Oh, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm going to do it again. Maybe next time I come up, we can spend some more time together. But I really like to see how some of that stuff is made. But that was very interesting. I wish we had a little more time. Of course, I was limited with my time. I had to go see my sisters. Both of my sisters live in Syracuse, and the one sister that I went to see, she lives right off Teal Avenue, so she's about 2 miles from your place. But anyway, she went over there and we had a nice lunch. And I actually, after I came back, I took a nap. I went upstairs and I said, "You got a bed that I can lay down on?" And I took a nap for about 45 minutes and rejuvenated me. And I left there about, about 5 o'clock. And it really, there was some construction and I had to stop for gas. And so it was about 10 minutes to 7 when I got back. Anyway, yeah, it was a good trip. And I'd like to do it again. And I tell Maureen I was happy to meet her. And she's much better looking than you are.
Yeah, no one's gonna argue that point with you. That's for sure. Yeah, that's for sure. But it's a good place. I mean, it's interesting to see. To me, it's interesting. You know, we make a lot of interesting products. I've been doing this my whole life, and my whole adult life anyway. You know the story. But whatever it is, it's just part of what I do.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of interested in all the mechanics and the electronics, and I'd like to delve into that a little bit more. But anyway, yeah, it was quite interesting to see the whole manufacturing process. I didn't quite understand it all, but parts of it I did, and I always wondered how those blocks were made, and some of the technology. I was really impressed with those bricks. And with the foam insulation and all that kind of stuff, I had no idea. that was possible to do that, and I understand it. And just from the construction that went on here at my house, let me just explain to you how they did the insulation in this addition. It's remarkable, but it was 2x6 walls, and they could have put mats or fiberglass, but they foamed it. And then in the ceiling, they foamed the ceiling, so that's R49 in the ceiling, and the walls, and then you put an inch of, they put this zip board on the outside, and they put foam, 1-inch foam on top of that, and it gets you to R20, and I can't believe it's not more than that. But anyway, well insulated. The floors are foamed also below the garage and everything. The ceiling of the garage is plastered. But I kind of understand the insulation factor there. But I'm used to R19 in the walls and maybe R21 in the ceiling, and that's what the rest of the house is. But the technology's come in the window. Oh my God, the windows are so well insulated. It doesn't take anything to heat and hopefully not to cool that new addition. But anyway, we'll talk about that some other time. Yeah, it's really interesting how the technology has come along with that.
Yeah, well, that's heat rises, so that's the biggest thing. You want to have lots of insulation in the ceiling. That's the place where the heat goes out the best. And windows and all that stuff are important, but it's not 1/10 as important as the roof and your sill plate. You've got to have your sill plate well insulated as well. But modern technology has just gone leaps and bounds over how things used to be built, and I'm sure your new addition is just superbly built.
Oh yeah, much better than I ever thought it would be. And they told me you can heat this thing with a candle. Well, that's an exaggeration. It didn't take much. It really doesn't. And hopefully the air conditioning. Now I was supposed to get one of those units, air conditioning, outside, but that didn't happen yet. So probably, I don't know, I'm going to have to get a hold of my heating guy and air conditioning guy. Still want to put it in. I'm probably going to run in a window air conditioner, but I don't think it's going to take much air conditioning. I air condition the whole house with window air conditioning. I want to go to those unit air conditioners, that have the outside view. I think there's probably 2 of them. Maybe 3 of them, probably the whole house. They're called ductless air conditioning. They've got heat in them too. And, they're a couple thousand, depending on BTU. That's the way I want to do that. That and other instances. But maybe not.
Hey, Randy.
Yeah, Tom.
Down in Bartow, Florida, which was probably about 15 miles north of where I was at, there was a plant there that you would find interesting, where they made concrete telephone poles.
Yeah, precast, right? Yeah, that would be interesting.
No, what they did, the form, they would rotate it. They would roll it, and they would fill it with concrete. And as they rolled, the concrete went out to the outside of the thing there. And they're using concrete telephone poles for the termites. I guess that dulls the termites' teeth.
Yeah, they have a hard time getting through that concrete.
Yeah, but I thought you might find that interesting. I went on a tour of that a few years back, and it was very interesting.
Can we get some 80-footers brought up here?
I'll tell you what, they had them on the trucks there. That they took a country mile to make a turn.
Yeah, I'm going to buy. I was talking to the steel guy that I buy a lot of steel from, and he sells pipe. And I'm going to, I want to get some, build some erectable towers, that I can tilt up here with my tractor. And he's going to. He's going to help me out with some pricing and things like this. So I'm going to build one prototype, and once I get that built this summer and stood up, I'll see if I go the rest of the way. But I'd love to have 5, tilt up that don't need guying and would be at least be 60 foot up. I'd like to be able to have the loop up around 60 feet, 65 feet if I could.
That would be something.
I just got to build one prototype. Once I build one, and I know it works, well then that's it. We're going to build the rest of them.
Roger.
Why do you need 5? One for each corner and then one for the feed line?
Well, no. The bigger the diameter of the circle or the hole is inside of the wire, the better the signal will be. So 4 of them would be a good square, right? But if you made with 5, you could make it you could pull it out a little tiny bit bigger.
You can use balloons.
You and your balloons, you're full of balloons.
But they would work, wouldn't they?
No.
Until they came down.
Just putting that out there, food for thought.
Well, when you get your balloon system up, let me know. I'll come down and I'll learn from you.
I'm having a problem with my dishwasher. Maybe you can help me out.
I can help you with the dishwasher. How come Mickey's not out there washing the dishes?
She says you had to go there, didn't you?
Has she been drinking again?
Not enough.
Did she? Darn it all! Did she get into the ammo bunker?
She did not.
Has she ever been in the ammo bunker?
Oh, indeed.
How many bottles have exploded in the ammo bunker?
Several. There's corks everywhere.
Yeah, I was telling Randy about that. The bunker. It's a good thing it's a bunker.
You got to wear safety glasses when you go in there.
What is this? Wine bottles or what?
Yeah.
Time for bed, guys. 73, KC3, KXP. Talk to you tomorrow night.
Good night, 73. Sleep well, Tom.
Yeah, thank you.
See you, Tom.
Good night.
Good night. I'll tell you what, after 40, 45 minutes in that 100-degree water, I am having a hard time staying awake here. Good night, guys.
I would be, too. I don't think I would have gotten out of it, though.
Hey, we got that front coming through. Hey, Randy.
Yes, sir.
So I'm looking through my mom's genealogy here, and it on one of the family trees it goes back to the year 1265.
What kind of radios did they have back then?
They were very, very short range radios, and they didn't develop a lot of heat.
I thought they were called
Russ, was
smoke
that
signals.
BC or AC?
No, 1265 would have been, that was just after that was just a generation or two after the signing of the Magna Carta, I think.
What country was that?
Most of my relatives are from England. I got a lot of Germans in there. I got some Swiss people, a lot of Dutch. some Nordic type folk. There's Normans, like Northern French people in there. We got the Irish represented. It's a mixed bag. A lot of the family lines dead end, but I got every single grandparent going back at least 5 generations, and then they start to deviate from there. I start to lose names.
And sisters are into that now. My lineage goes back to England, Scotland, and Germany. So my grandmother's side of the family is German. They were Wickeisers, which was definitely German, and then my grandfather came from Scotland and England. So basically, and then my mother, oh my God, she's from Texas. But there's all kinds of everything in there. But yeah, mostly German and English.
Yeah, I got a whole mixed bag. I got a lot of English people. They were from like Lincolnshire, and I've got a couple of Civil War veterans in there. I got a veteran of the War of 1812. I got my mom. Too bad she's not alive to know about it, but she would have qualified to be a daughter of the American Revolution, because I've got a Major Daniel Moore, or William Daniel Moore, was a major in the during the Revolutionary War. He fought in like the Carolinas, and we got we got French Canadians, we got Irish people, we got all kinds. I mean, it's a mixed bag. It's really wild, but totally unexpected. But my mom herself, she was pretty confident back about 4 or 5 generations, and that got me on the way with her stories and the things that she told us, the stuff that she had written down. And then I took it from there and ran with it, and it's been it's time consuming, but it's very rewarding once you can get reliable information.
Yeah, well, I've never really got into it too much, but both my sisters are into it. And actually, one of my sisters goes to those Daughters of the Revolution meetings. And they both live in Syracuse. And the one that she wasn't living in Nashville, and that's how she got started in it. But yeah, she goes to those meetings in Syracuse, I think monthly. And so somehow we're connected in there. But anyway, they're really big into it. I've never got into it too much, but I've learned a little bit about what they've researched, and it's quite interesting. It really is. But I don't know. I'm just not that interested in that.
Yeah, I really didn't start. I didn't really start in with it until I had like a recording of my mother, an interview of my mother done by a friend of mine, and where she was asked a lot of questions about her heritage and her background and what it was like growing up, and she mentioned a lot of the family tree there, and so I watched that, and then I just started writing stuff down and researching, talking to family members, going to a lot of resources on the internet, and I found all the stuff from Ellis Island, and for like my dad's side of the family, I discovered a lot of stuff that I didn't know, and on my mom's side of the family, it's hard once you get anything earlier than the American Revolution. It's very, very tough. There's not a lot of civic records available. It's really kind of hard to cobble stuff together. You got to rely on other families' genealogies and their accuracy. So it's really tough. But people have dumped so much stuff on the internet about this. It's just fascinating that they would put that much work and effort together and then hand it out there for other people to use for free. So it's kind of cool. KC1RS.
Yeah, okay, WA2JID. What I do find interesting, I did know my grandfather. He died in 1959, and I was a teenager when he died. And we lived with him, and he came from Scotland. He came over in, I think, 1890. He was born in 1866. And some of the things that he told me, I mean, it was really, really interesting the way they lived in England and Scotland back then. And I had direct knowledge of what it was like back in the 1800s. And he lived to be 93 years old, and he saw Queen Victoria, of all things. She went by on a train, and he was a little bitty kid, and he was waving to her, and she waved back to him. And he told that story many, many times, that he saw Queen Victoria. And I thought that was really fascinating, that he could really go back that far. And, it was back, before an automobile. He never drove a car. And, he really went back, way, way back. It was almost primitive times, really. They lived in a town in Scotland, and they had a community bathroom. He wrote all this stuff down, and everybody went to this bathroom, which was a pit out in the middle of the square, and that's where they had dirt floors. The floors in the houses were dirt, and his father was a cobbler. He made shoes, and it was really, really very, very interesting to hear him tell his stories.
So, Maureen was just talking about this, and your aunt did this, right? Her great aunt. And you got to understand, this is a different time. So, way before the internet and stuff, and Ancestry.com. Her great aunt Pussy, okay, that's, I mean, not trying to be funny, that's what they called her, Aunt Pussy, looked it up and went back to, back to Charlemagne, King Charlemagne, back in, I think he was like, what, 800, right? 780 to 800 or something. So she's got great lineage.
The Adams.
And also the Adamses, that's right. John Adams, John Quincy Adams is also her, direct lineage. And of course I'm with the Fondas, and it's just no wonder that we got hooked up here.
Hey, I'm ducking out of here. Say goodnight to everybody. WG2E.
Yeah, say goodnight to the King and Queen, Carl.
I bow down to your magnificence.
Oh, wow. Even at tired, you're as sharp as they come. See you later. 73. Have a good night.
Hey, Maureen, glad to meet you today. And like I told Randy, you're a lot better looking.
It was nice meeting you too, Bernie. You had me going there for a second.
He came in saying, "Hey, Bernie, how smart is my wife?" What was the excuse that what did she tell you?
I told her I was from the FCC, and I wanted to talk to Randy Chrisman because he was running excessive power. And she said, "Oh, he's at a meeting. He'll be gone for 3 weeks."
Yeah, the girl, Mo. She, Mo Guns knows. She knows how to keep him out of the back office.
Yeah, she's got your back.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Is it past your bedtime? I'm ready to go here for another couple hours.
Yeah, I'm about used up. I've got to get up early tomorrow, and one more day of full days of production. But we've got tomorrow's now. I wish actually you came to tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going to have a hot day of production. We've got regular blocks to make, and we're just going to be pounding them out tomorrow. Tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, we've got just great days to pound out blocks. No special stuff and all that. But anyway, I can tell you this, that we had that meeting today. I was telling you about the financial meeting, and we had the greatest April in our I think in the company's history. Highest production, lowest wages. So I've kept the overtime down and kept the production way up, and so it was a good month for us.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Yeah, I have Thursdays off, at least right now. When I say Thursdays off, I have a full-time job here, and it's to take care of my wife. And we've talked about that before. But I've got two aides, and I'm going to hire two more. One of them's leaving, but they're trying to give me time off. I've got all night long. And during the day, I can do stuff around the house here and everything, and I can run off for an hour or two. To have a whole day off like I did today, only once a week. So Thursdays are my day off right now anyway. So, we'll see how that all works out. Okay, I'll let you guys wrap it up, and I'm sure you want to go to bed. I went back to my sister's house, and after I had a couple of those IPAs and a big dinner, I said, man, I could take a nap. And my sister says, go up in the bedroom up there and close the door. And I walked in, and the bed was about 4 feet off the ground. It was a big 4-poster with a... and I said, how do I get up there? She said, oh, there's a stand. So I climbed up there and laid down and put a quilt over me and fell asleep for about an hour. So I'm ready to go. And then I drove home. Anyway, so I'll let you guys go to bed, and I'll catch you again. This is WA2JID. We'll say 7-3, and we'll listen out.
All right, pal. Have a good night. It was really nice to meet you today, Bernie. Nice to see you, and we'll see you. We'll see you again, I guess, tomorrow. Best 73, KB2ZVP.
Anybody else in there? This is WA2JID.
Yeah, I'm going to get out of here. Bernie, it was good talking to you. Randy, I'll catch you guys on the net. I'm going to cut out of here. It's been a long day for me, too. So you guys, 73s to you. And we'll, like I say, I'll catch you in here some other time. KC1RS.
Okay, 7-3, and we'll catch you guys later. I'll be hanging out here, maybe listen down on 80 meters, see what's going on, and then I'm going to go up and go to bed. Maybe watch something on Amazon Prime for a while. This is WA2JID, 7-3 off.
Good night, Bernie, 73. Good night, everybody. Sleep well. We'll see you tomorrow. KB2ZVP.
W2KRY, are you still listening in here, Randy? Here's Kilowatt Bravo 2, Zulu Victor Papa. Cheers, Kilo. I love that sound. KB2ZVP.
Test 1, 2, and 3ARW. Yeah, because everybody's gone. Only 3ARW clear.
WA2JID. Whiskey Alpha 2 Juliet India Delta.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, WA2JID.